Hello everybody, this is MrYourWilly for another frequently asked question tutorial. Now, I have been asked this quite often, what is a safe haven? And that's my fault. When I was making the infection setup tutorial, I assumed that you guys knew what a safe haven was. Naughty me, slapped myself on the back of the hand. I shouldn't have assumed that. So this is me correcting that mistake. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what a safe haven actually is. Now obviously you need to be in the game type infection in Forge, or obviously you won't be able to view the safe havens, and safe havens are usually placed using hill markers. And the reason why is a safe haven's an area, and so if you have a flag stand or a capture plate, there we go, the name was escaping me for a second, if you have one of those type objects in there, then you're gonna see that object in it, and usually you don't want that. You usually just want the area, not an object showing where the area is as well as the area. So you want a hill marker. Now you can put as many as you want depending if you're actually using havens or not. You just gotta remember to set the game options, game specific true, and infection haven. Now this is a haven, and it'll only show up in games that say use havens. If you don't use havens, which is what normal infection is, they don't use safe havens by default. You won't see this at all. It actually won't play a part of your game. So if you're playing just a normal infection game, then you probably just need one, because that's a requirement for an infection game. You have to have one even if you don't use it. But it doesn't really matter where it is. Now if you do use it, it does matter where it is. And the only reason why it matters is that's where people have to go to enter the safe haven. So you want to make sure that the area fits the area that you're wanting. If it's going to be a square, then you want to make sure that you set up box and that the shape is correctly fitting the room that you want it to be in. But that's really all you need to worry about for setting up the areas. And you probably, if you're using safe havens, you need at least two, because if you only have one, the moment the safe haven goes away, it's just going to keep saying new safe haven acquire, safe haven gone, new safe haven acquire, and it's going to be really annoying really quick. So if you're using safe havens, put at least two on the map. If you're not using safe havens, you need at least one. But if you're actually using safe haven for your game type, it's preferable to have more than one, just because it makes it more fun. You can run around the map, they'll appear randomly, so you got to just pick the locations. Now a safe haven, what it really does is the moment I enter this little region, there's going to be a counter. It's going to appear about there. It's going to start counting down. The moment I leave, the counter still goes. Unlike territories where the counter only goes when you're in it, safe havens, they keep continually counting to 0 the second you enter it. The moment it hits 0, it picks a new location. When you're in it, all humans get a certain trait applied to them. Now, this can be anything from invincibility to being able to deal a lot of damage to invisibility to seeing a expanded radar that shows all zombies on the map. Anything you want, but it only happens when they're in this area. The moment they leave the area, they're back to being a normal human. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the traits that you can do. Seeing as now you know a safe haven's a region, it only applies to humans, and only applies to them when they're in the region, and only till the counter hits 0, and then it switches to a new region. That's the basic of what a safe haven is. Now let's see what safe havens can do. Obviously I set the game type to be safe haven. It could be infection. The only difference is here where it says safe haven, whoops, 15 seconds is default. Safe haven enabled. That's the only difference between a normal infection game and a safe haven game, is that this went from disabled to enable, and you can do that yourself. The timer though, this is how long it counts down until it resets to a new location. Default is 15 seconds. It can be anywhere between 5 seconds and 1 minute long. It can't be more than a minute, unfortunately, but a minute does last a long time, especially if you give them invulnerability. It can be a nuisance. You want to make sure if you do a super long time that you don't make them invulnerable, but you do give them some reason to enter that safe haven. Now, haven kill points, this is default by 1 point. I set it up to be 2 points just to show you that this is, if you get a kill while you're in the haven, you get 2 extra points instead of just 1 point. So you get more points if you do kills. You can set that up as an incentive to enter the haven. For those of you who like making points, I don't really care much about points, but to some people, they really like seeing that they got the most points. So this is one of the things you can set up. You can make it up to, well, negative points, obviously. Thought there was a limit. Nope, there, found it. 5 points is the most points you can set up for a safe haven. Now, haven traits, this is what applies to the person in the area, and it only applies to humans, not zombies. And by default, the damage resistance is invulnerable. Immune to assassination is true. If you want, you can change this so that they're just, really tough to kill, but they're not invulnerable. They're still immune to assassinations. They can slowly regenerate health, and normally they can't. So you can do things like that to give them incentive or a different gameplay experience. Also, let's do like weapons. These are normally 100. See, I was messing around with this and I forgot to reset the thing, but normally these are just default. You can make it so that they do less damage, more damage when they're in it. My favorite thing to do is giving them health, regeneration, damage resistance. They're immune to assassinations. They fire normally, so they don't have any more damage that they can do, but they do have sensor. I usually give them no sensor normally or something like that, but then I'll give them 25 and it shows enhanced mode, so it shows all the zombies in the region. So that would be an incentive for entering the safe haven. You can see all the zombies on the map. You can do things like that. It's all possibilities, all whatever you can think of and what you guys want to do. But that's basically what a safe haven is, how you can apply it into your game, and what you can do with it. So I hope this tutorial helped explain a little bit more about safe havens specifically, what you can do. And if you guys have any more questions about safe havens, message me on my YouTube account and I'll reply back to you as soon as I possibly can. This is GamerTag Your Willy signing off. See you all later.